I'm Dr. Joseph MT, Department of Sociology, University of Mumbai, and this is E-Pathshala project on religion and society. Now we go to module 12, which is on sect and cult. Now, sect and cult are traditionally two kind of concepts that sociologists of religion have looked at. In this module, we look at the entire ramifications and explanations of both of these and how both of these are distinct and different from each other. Understanding ritual. Ritual originates from Latin terms ritus and ritualis, which means connected to ceremony. Emil Durkheim, the sociologist, states and talks about three aspects of religion, and this is one way in which we can understand and explain ritual. Now, according to Durkheim, there are three main aspects to religion. One is beliefs, the second is a moral community, and third is a set of collective behavior. Now, beliefs, according to Durkheim, express the sacred and the profane. Or rather, the beliefs separate everything in the world to two categories. One is the sacred and other is the profane. Then the second one, which is a moral community. According to Durkheim and later studies, this moral community can be a clan, a tribe, or a sect. And then the third one is a set of collective behaviors, which are rituals. Specifically on ritual, the studies done by Victor Turner. So Turner would say a ritual is a prescribed formal behavior for occasions not given over to technological routine, having reference to belief in mystical beings or powers. The symbol is the smallest unit of ritual. Now we go to the types of rituals. Number one, life cycle rituals. Life cycle rituals are rituals that people undergo at different stages of their life, which look at the different major happenings. Arnold van Gennep, who has been an authority who has done classical studies on rituals, discussed these rites as being universal to all societies, which means that all communities, all societies in the world have life cycle rituals. These are also called rites of passage. Now, rites of passage can also be a little different from life cycle rituals. Now, what, according to Van Gennep, makes up rites of passage are the three stages that he is calling: a stage of separation, a stage of transition, and a stage of incorporation. Now, rites of passage resolve life crisis. They provide a mechanism to deal with the tension experienced by both individuals and social groups during transitory occasions. For example, birth, attaining puberty, marriage, death, and the like. Victor Turner took this work forward by elaborating on the idea of liminality. So, taking the idea of liminal from Arnold van Gennep, Victor Turner theorized more on it and made these ideas more applicable to larger areas of life. Now, liminal comes from the Latin word which means threshold. This is the ambiguity in the middle stage of the rites of passage. Now, some case studies of rites of passage in India. You can look at a picture there which is showing the Hindu Upanayana initiation ceremony. Traditionally and classically, it marks the beginning of the Brahmacharya ashram. It's regarded as the second birth for a Hindu boy and invokes feelings of responsibility. However, one should notice that Upanayana ceremony is not for all Hindus but only limited to what are called the twice-born castes. Another case study is of what is called Eucharistic rituals. Now, Eucharistic rituals are enactment of important aspects of Christ's life for the Christians. Experiencing of the bread and the wine as body and blood if one is a Catholic, and it's a feast representing the body and blood of Christ for the Catholics. Now, in the ritual you have bread, you have wine, and then you have which are the physical kind of aspects, and the spiritual aspect is Christ. Now let us look at religious ritual in India in a very general sense. Now there could be religious rituals associated with sects, and there could be religious rituals associated with cult. Now first, the sect. These emerge from already established religious institutions because of dissatisfaction, alienation from or criticism of the bigger group. Sects lay a claim to possess unique and privileged access to salvation. Examples of sects are Vaishnavism, Shaivism. The cult is in opposition to the prevailing culture and is marginal to that culture. The cult has no clear locus of final authority beyond the individual member. Now, the example of cult could be the Sai Baba cult or the cult of Kabir. Now we look at the performance of caste in rituals. Homo hierarchicus by Liu Dumont remains a classical study. According to Homo hierarchicus, the way that he quotes from Purusha Sukta and other places is, as the Brahmins are placed at the top of the caste hierarchy due to their superior ritual purity. Lower caste groups have higher impurity, therefore the principle of purity and pollution. Dumont also very clearly mentions in his book that in the Indian philosophy there is a superiority given to ritual status, which is higher than the political status, or rather the Brahmin is more powerful than the king. Then there is the idea of performance of caste identity in terms of entry to the temple. Pujas conducted by whom can be seen and things like that. So, for example, who can be in the temple, who can do pujas in the temple, who are the people allowed at the entrance and who are not allowed at that entrance. All of these have got notions of ritual purity and impurity. It's also important to look at the exclusion of gender in certain rituals and certain ritualized locations. There is a clear division of roles between men and women when it comes to rituals. Men have specific rituals to be performed, and women have also rituals to be women have also their own specific rituals to be performed. For example, at the Sabarimala pilgrimage in Kerala, the male is the main actor, identifying with Ayyappa, the main deity. Women's role is overshadowed. No woman is allowed into the sanctum sanctorum of the temple. Number of protests here, for example, there have been recently protests against this exclusion of women in places like Sabarimala, at Shani Shingnapur temple and at Haji Ali Dargah. Women and Dalits are at the forefront of reformist religion. Now we go to the growing idea of inclusivity in ritual. Inclusivity has been at the core of religious rituals since the earliest times. Efforts from the times of Ram Mohan Roy, Vivekananda, to the emergence of Shirdi pilgrimage or the Swaminarayan Mandir are evidences of a more inclusive way of rituals incorporating different sections in the modern society. There still exists tension between those who emphasize exclusivity of ritual and those who oppose and resist such exclusions. Law plays an important role. For instance, the Jain Santara ritual has faced strong opposition in recent times. This becomes complex with the religious syncretism that has been quite evident in recent times. Ajmer Dargah, for instance, attracts devotees from different religious groups. Rituals continue to be a major pillar in Indian society, becoming a performative space for different structures such as caste, gender, etc., and yet providing and reaffirming community identity. Conclusion, Module 12. In this module, we have looked at two different categories that are seen in religious organization, that is sect and cult, and its relationship to other categories like denomination and church and others. And we have looked at the distinction between both of these and seen its historical kind of expression in different religions. Thank you.